Hello, everybody, and welcome to Modena to Maranello, your Ferrari Motorsport Everything podcast. Again, it's welcome to the weekend. It's post-race now. So I'm Toby here in London. Up there in Birmingham it is.
Hi, guys. I'm Paul.
And it's back over to Richie in Australia.
Thanks, Toby. Thanks, Paul. What another great day it's been here out at Albert Park. Weather's been absolutely amazing again. Crowd's been fantastic. What can we say? These boys right here.
Woo!
1 and 2. Beauty. What a day for us. So this is the first time since 2004 Ferrari's had a 1-2 victory out here at Albert Park. And for the 10th time at Albert Park, the 11th time in Australia, Ferrari's come through in first position. So there's been 38 Grand Prix in Australia now, including the Adelaide era. Ferrari's won over a quarter of them. How's that? So as a Tifosi, Australian Tifosi, we're happy down here.
We're happy here too.
we should be happy world round. And I'll tell you what, in Maranello, scenes would seem to be going crazy right now. Because I know
the church bells ring.
The church bells ring. The flag will go up at Maranello. And it should be 2 flags today because not only did we get Max straight away and then cause them to blow up. That's what I'm saying. We also saw both of our rivals in the Mercedes. Don't be shocked. Don't be dismayed by the fact that it's Ferrari versus Red Bull. It's still Ferrari versus Mercedes. So anytime we come first and second, and both of those Mercedes don't finish, that's a sweet result. So yeah, as I said, Carlos pretty much dictated terms the whole race. Both McLarens were ever present. Piastri, Norris sort of swapped it around a little bit, which didn't go down too well here. But for those of us who know, Norris always had the pace. Both Charles and Piastri undercut him the first time around to switch after their first pit stop. So that was probably always going to come. Other than that, our boys look strong all the way through. Carlos, it's a 10 out of 10 race for him, considering.
Yeah, Carlos, wow, what a superhero, man. I mean, surgery 2 weeks ago, like on the pace immediately. All weekend's been on the pace, and then Wallop brings it home today. Like it's not even affected him. And yet when you see him out the car, he's kind of like, still not limping, but he's very careful when he's sort of moving around. So it's incredible to see him just absolutely kill it like that all weekend.
And even under the podium as he got out of the car, he just looked like he was walking very upright and rigid. So look, he's going to be a sore boy tonight. But when you're nursing that round trophy, the Australian Grand Prix Winners' Trophy, I think that's going to take a little bit of the pain away from what he's feeling today. So
yeah, I think you're right.
Fantastic effort. Yeah. We talked about it in here yesterday that he's going to slip down the order. He's not going to do all that. Man, he just threw all that out the window and just absolutely dominated. So fantastic race for him. Great for Charles to fight back and get ahead of the McLaren and keep that. Norris on fresher tyres in that last stint was catching, but Charles was sort of managing that gap the whole way. I haven't had a massive chance to debrief on the race. Charles was saying that the second set he couldn't get up to temp. I don't know. We'll find out more about that later. But Charles, great race. Charles is only 4 points off the lead, and we're, I think, 4 points off the championship in constructors. So, round 3, it's a good little springboard to make a good season here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How was the reaction with the crowd when they realised Max was going to be out of the race and struggling and got a problem? Yeah.
Like I said yesterday, the crowd's predominantly Ferrari and McLaren. So we're in a stand here, and we had one opposite us, and they could see sort of further up from turn 10 down to turn 11, and that's where it's sort of started smoking, and they've all just jumped up. And I'm like, the Ferrari fan in you see automatically thinks something's happened to one of the Ferraris, but then seeing Max come past us with that big plume of smoke, we were just like this. And then I think it was 10 laps later or something like that, Lewis slowed down in exactly the same spot. Come on, what a day. Yeah. First time since Monza 2021 that both of them have failed to finish.
That's right, race. Yeah. It was just like the old days, wasn't it? Ferrari, McLaren at the front racing. With old school track, great place. And it was just great to reminisce.
Yeah, so one of the things that came over the GPTV is the last time Ferrari finished 1 and 2 with a McLaren 3 and 4 was Spa 2007, which was 17 years ago. So that shows you how long it's been for both teams to be right up there and battling each other. And isn't it a throwback to the late 80s and even sort of late noughties where Ferrari and McLaren are both going toe to toe. So
it's I mean, obviously the Wednesday is epic. I mean, and the one could say we were kind of gifted it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure Carlos was on or thereabouts with Max. It would have been an interesting battle, I think. But for me, the fact they've sorted out that tire deg problem, that seems to be well on the way to that. You know what I mean? They could actually push the whole race, or when Norris was actually getting closer to Charles. Like Charles could just push a little bit more and keep him there. And I was like, that's so great to see, because last year we've just been defending. Like he gets to a point in the race where we can't do it and we have to just defend. And
it's just the confidence, confidence in the team, isn't it? In the pit garages and on the pit stops and all that. You just feel confidence in the team this season as well.
Absolutely,
change around.
Whether or not that's something that Frederick's brought, I always thought Matteo Binotto had a good sort of control of the team. But the more you sort of read into it of late is that he was possibly too controlling, whereas Frederick's got that sort of calmness. I know him and Charles have been close for years. Whether there was any friction between Charles and Matteo, who knows? But there does seem to be a different feeling in there. We've made a lot of adjustments over the last 12 months to head of strategy, operations, all that sort of thing. So who knows? Like I said yesterday, with Lewis coming and fingers crossed we get Adrian Newey too. That's we'll
leave that for another podcast, mate. That one, that's crazy. That's who knows about that. Yeah,
there's talk about it, Danny, this weekend. So what you're saying about the tyre deg is all weekend the Ferraris have been looking good with their long runs. So Albert Park's pretty notoriously bad on tyres. So if that's something that we can take out of today, I mean, we're taking a 1-2 out of today. So what else do we need to take out? But if we can take out some form, especially going into Suzuka, China, abrasive surface, all these things. If this car's looking after its tyres, we know it's got a good powertrain. We know the aerodynamics on it are pretty good. I think we've got two of the best drivers in the grid. I think as a 1-2 punch, we've got the best team.
I agree.
I think you could say definitely better than. I mean, Max is Max. He's the best of the field, but Charles and Carlos is better than Max and Sergio. Russell and Lewis are sort of on that downward curve. So who knows? It could be a Lando, Oscar v Charles and Carlos fight a little bit more often now.
We'll see.
We'll see. Good. It's a shame for Danny Rick. He probably could have gotten the points today if he hadn't had that lap taken away from him. Then qualifying as well.
Sort of, I'm gonna have to throw my Aussie passport in the Albert Park Lake here for a second, but I don't know if we're going to see him in too many more race weekends, to be honest. Sure. Going to Suzuka, where Liam Lawson's raced for the last couple of years, it would kind of make sense just to, if you're going to rip that Band-Aid off, rip it off now. I definitely think that Liam Lawson's going to replace Danny at some stage this season, which, look, it's a shame. He's popular, great driver.
Yeah, there is a bit of talk about it. I'm hearing going the rounds about his seat under threat.
And look, this weekend, all right, like you say, he had that lap deleted yesterday, but he's not knocking on the door of the top 10. Yuki chucked it up into Q3 yesterday. He's finishing the points today. I don't know. This sort of,
again, Yuki's thrown it, like you say, he's shown him again. It's another weekend where Yuki's just on top of him, and it's like, and not by a little bit either, like quite a margin.
Exactly
and quality was so disappointing for him, right? So it's
and I think even the quali got him just out of Q1 into Q2. Yeah. So it's not like he'd leapfrogged up into the top 6 or anything like that on a hot lap.
Yeah.
So look, sad, but with every sports person's career comes the beginning of the end. So sadly, I think we're seeing that with Daniel.
The other Aussie I felt bad for today was Oscar, because I'm a big Oscar fan. Actually, I think he's great, and I wish we had signed him, actually, to be honest, or tried to at least. But so it was pretty sad for me to see him, have to swap there and with Lando. But especially for the crowd as well, being a Melbourne guy, the crowd must have been pretty disappointed in that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think going forward for any Australian racing at Albert Park, rip one star off the flag and call him a Kiwi, because we've had Mark Webber finish 4th here twice. Danny Rick finished 4th here twice, have a second place taken away from him on a fuel irregularity, which at the time was ridiculous. And then Oscar comes 4th today. So there's a thing with 4th place and Aussies around this place. We still, in the age of a World Championship Grand Prix, we still have yet to have an Aussie step on the podium. So, and we've had some good drivers in that time. So, I'd say Oscar's probably going to get a win here at some stage.
I was going to ask, I know you mentioned, I think a few weeks on a chat group or whatever, you used to walk the track, and you can't do that anymore, is that right?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, normally the one of the great traditions of post Australian Grand Prix is everyone storms the track in a respectful way, and we run up to the podium, and there's always a bit of a dash to the podium. I did it a couple of years ago and nearly blew out both my hamstrings, but the old man body stuck together, and I got right under the podium for Charles's win, and that was a great day. Last year we had quite a significant event down at Turn 1 on the last lap. Don't know if you can cast your mind back 12 months ago till we had that chaotic finish where we had the safety car come out with 1 lap to go, let them race for last lap or something like that. We had people climbing the fences to try and get over whilst people were on the track. There were people literally 5 meters from the cars. Now, it's a big no-no. We've always known here that the course car goes around with its flashing lights on, and that says the track is closed and everyone can go out there and jump onto the track. But that's sort of gone out the door. Big push also. So probably about 4 weeks ago, they said we're not letting anyone on the track. And I'm talking the entire track. So not just the main straight, the entire track. Now, I've been getting text messages today from the Australian Grand Prix. You obviously, when you buy your tickets, you register with all your details. So I've got text messages through Ticketmaster, who we get our tickets through the Australian Grand Prix Corporation. Their Instagram page has had a notification up every hour, it seems. There's notices everywhere on the big screens. It's for those of us in Melbourne who lived through 20 and 2021, there was a little bit of PTSD came back a little bit where they're just sort of containing us and telling us what to do again. It seems to have worked. There's a lot of people hanging around. We have concerts after the race, so we've got a couple of big local acts playing, Empire of the Sun and the Presets, a couple of sort of house music type sort of groups. So they're playing tonight. One of them's starting just shortly, actually. So I'm going to duck off for a minute, go have a couple of beers and watch them.
I was going to say, so let's go. Time to get to the boozer, mate. It is. Yeah, that's great.
The crowd stuck around. They've done their thing. An announcement was put over today that there was a directive from the FIA that any more sort of crowd interactions while the race is going on, and we're taking your Grand Prix away from you. We've got a contract for 13 or 14 years here, so they take that away. I know Sydney's absolutely chomping to try and get the race, so that's why they've sort of gone that really overreactive approach this weekend. They have said today that they're looking at bringing it back next year after. So we'll probably have to just wait and see how that plays out. But on all aspects, well played, Melbourne. You've done what you do. We like to call ourselves the sporting capital of the world. We've had just under 450,000 people here over the 4 days.
That's incredible.
Which is an amazing effort. It really is. Like I said, I've been walking around all day today, Saturday, Friday. There doesn't seem to be any trouble. One of the things I've even noticed is security and police is almost, you don't notice them. And in Victoria, we're known for being the nanny state. You notice them, you almost notice them putting out your bins of a night time. They're ever present in Victoria. And I haven't really noticed them this weekend. So credit to them as well for not sort of intruding too much.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the atmosphere again. I mean, obviously this morning, at what time you arrived, what the anticipation was. And you already mentioned there's a few acts like going on this evening, bands and things happening. But as also like at Silverstone, all of that stuff happens too. There's lots of events during the day afterwards, and the atmosphere. You have to you've got GA tickets. If you're not there at 5 o'clock in the morning, like queuing up, you never find anything. And as far as the fans go, it's nice to hear that there's been no crazy behavior or sort of insulting behavior, things like that. So it's nice to hear that because...
And I've been a little bit separated away from it this year, being in a grandstand, as opposed to the last couple of years I've been in general admission. So I've done the get to the gate at 4 o'clock in the morning and run to your spot and sort of camp there all day and all that sort of stuff. So it was refreshing to be able to sort of walk around and see some friends and all that sort of stuff today. But there was big crowds here this morning before the gates opened. I came in at about 8:30 and got sort of straight in as the gates had been open for half an hour. But the place was packed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like it was unbelievable. Like I said yesterday, it was a real hark back to the Ferrari Schumacher days of the early 2000s when this place was rocking. It sort of dipped and dived away pre-COVID, and I think the best thing ever was this city not having a race for 2 years, and it's brought it back with interest. It's been fantastic. Like I said, the The atmosphere's been great. The weather's been picture perfect. We get a bit of a knockdown here in Melbourne and Victoria for having the worst weather in Australia, but you bring 20 cars to this lake, and for some reason the sun shines and the rain stays away for 4 days. So,
and it looks glorious on TV. It really does. You know, like the location, the settings, the fan, everything about it just looks. All the overhead shots, you know, just look. Like I was saying earlier, you know, like I really want to go to that Grand Prix one day because it just looks so great. You know. It's
one to come to. I mean, we do it a little bit differently to the way European Grand Prix are done. We've always got a lot of on track action, whereas I know a lot of the overseas races I've been to, it's Carrera Cup. It sometimes is F1, F2, F2, F3. Whereas here we've got supercars.
You have the V8 in the past. We've had the V8 supercars. They're crazy guys, man. They're nuts. Those guys are they're crazy. Racing. Yeah.
Like you really do come to appreciate it when you sort of you hear them trackside, and like on telecast, it probably doesn't quite pick up how good they are, but they're loud, they're wide, they're tough looking cars, and the boys aren't afraid to sort of bang into each other. And get it going.
It's fun racing, man. It's fun.
Yeah. And they're looking at maybe having a bit of an Asian swing in a couple of the Asian races. So we're looking at either Suzuka, China, or Singapore. So stay tuned. Supercars may be coming to more races in the F1 races in the future. Beautiful.
That's great.
Thanks heaps for having me the last couple of days too, guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. And
I just want to thank you for your time and you know, all the updates. It's been really fantastic to get sort of from the ground atmosphere and the vibe.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And
thanks,
no dramas.
Awesome. Thank you.
12 months time when we're round one, we'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
But, so
all right, guys.
Anyway, thanks so much. Go and have a beer with your friends, and I know you got a flight to catch. You said so. Go and do it, man.
We'll do.
Excellent.
Good on you, boys. And 1-2. They can't take that away.
Absolutely.
From us.
Take care, Rich.
Take care, buddy.
Good on you.
See you soon.